Hello and welcome to Needing a Meeting. My name is Carol. I will be your host today. Hello, Minsk. How are you doing? How's everybody's day? Woohoo! And in the studio, I have with me here Ben and Rebecca. How are you doing?
Doing well. How about you?
Doing okay. It's about as good as you're going
Oh,
to get today.
uh, I, yeah, I kind of get that. That's a. Oh well. Hey, I love the color. I have to say
Good.
that.
Thank you. Yeah, I love the AC.
Nice. Can't beat
Yeah.
that.
No. That's that's that was my studio last summer, but the mini split was working in the air, so I had AC back
Oh,
there. There was no
okay.
way to put air ducts into that room. I had specialists check it out, so it had to be
Oh,
mini split. I know.
oh yeah, yeah. They have to lower the ceiling or some crap, or yeah.
I don't know. It was a closed-in patio off the
Oh,
back off the back end of the house. It
oh,
was a screened-in porch. It started out, and then they put windows in place of
oh,
the screen. Hey,
oh.
how are you?
There she is.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. Yeah, sorry, I'm just popping on. I hope I didn't interrupt.
No, no, no. We weren't talking about anything important at all. Oh well. Let's see. Uh, so I was reading in Daily Reflections, and I thought I would read this because I thought it was good. One day at a time. Above all, take it one day at a time, as Bill sees it on page 11. And the commentary on it is, why do I kid myself that I must stay away from a drink for only one day, when I know perfectly well I must never drink again as long as I live? I'm
Hmm.
not kidding. I am not kidding myself, because one day at a time is probably the only way I can reach the long-range objective of staying sober. If I determine that I shall never drink again as long as I live, I set myself up. How can I be sure I won't drink when I have no idea what the future may hold? On a one day at a time basis, I am confident I can stay away from a drink for one day. So I set out with confidence. At the end of the day, I have a reward of achievement. Achievement feels good, and that makes me want more. I thought that was good. So one day at a time, just getting through whatever it is we got to get through. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Minsk again. So, how's everybody's one day at a time? How's everybody getting through this one day?
I'm
It's
getting through. Go ahead, Ben. Sorry.
it's not so overwhelming when you only look at it one day versus.
Yeah,
Oh my God. Today cost me this much money. I hate to see how much tomorrow's going to cost. It's much easier to contain than just no, just
yeah,
just today.
yeah. I think it's a good principle for all of the things that apply to life.
Hmm.
I mean, all that we really have right here is today, this moment in today. So yeah.
I was going to say, oh yeah, I love getting letters from my retirement company, and they always no, they don't usually, but some of the times it's like you read between the lines, and you can almost hear them say, "Man, we took it on the chin this year, but hey, you're getting a penny on the dollar, so that's not all bad." Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. You just can't get any broker. That should be their thing.
Right? Um, is your uh, retirement service, is it what you get to choose, or is it what the company that you're working for chooses for you?
What they choose. You have, I, I was under the mistaken belief that I at least had the choice of No, you need to invest in more physical access, not paper. No. Oh yeah, I want this. Okay, we'll invest in paper versions of that. So it's like, yeah, nah, that lost value. And they're like, how did that happen? And I'm like, yeah, okay, guys, I
Wow.
see how this is going to work. But you know,
Right.
I the thing is that I just need to focus on what honestly, in all reality, that's beyond my control. I can do some
Right.
things about it. I could pull money out of it and throw it somewhere else, maybe, but
Yeah.
if I pay a hell of a hefty tax fee, probably. But I'm just going to
Yeah.
focus on what can I do today, and yeah,
Right on.
do
Crystal says, love that. Thank you. Needed that today. Been struggling with wanting to go there today so much, but I'll keep doing one moment at a time. Right on, Crystal. And hello, Izzy E. Good to see you. Up, up, up. Anybody else? How about you, Rebecca? How are you getting through your one day at a time?
I'm doing I'm doing okay. I'm off today, and it was I spent the weekend recovering from the previous week. Like that, the ADHD med worked amazing. So I killed it at work Thursday, Friday. But the problem is long COVID, and the way it's set up is I do too much and it exhausts me, and then I pay for it for several days. And so I did a lot Thursday and Friday and worked really hard and did amazing work. I mean, seriously, talking like over a decade. This is the best I've done in a decade, at least, at my job. I mean, seriously amazing. But then I paid for it all weekend. And this morning I did therapy at 8, which I normally did. And then DJ and I cuddled on the couch and I slept for 4.5 hours.
Nice. Well, that's good.
I've gotten nothing done today, and I took it off so that I could make doctor's appointments. And so I won't stay very long today, but
okay.
I just want to see everyone, but I'm doing okay.
Good.
Started
Hi,
laundry.
Heather. Hi, Heather. How about you, Tara?
I'm handling it. I'm sober. I'm not going to get high or drink today. So that's good. And the one day at a time thing is how I've gotten to 3 years clean and sober. It's really made a difference, that mindset. Because when I think about another year or when I think about 6 months from now, it's too much for me to handle. I cannot wrap my head around that. I cannot commit to that. And so the one day at a time thing is what has really worked. I mean, all coping mechanisms aside, I think that's one thing that I forget when people ask me what coping mechanisms I use. I never have answered with the adage one day at a time. That's not something that ever comes to mind to say. So it's a good reminder that I do need to focus on just today. And I feel fine, but I am clear and dealing with things problems that I created for myself in my addiction. I was running for a really long time, and now things are coming up. It's like, I need to take care of that. I need to take care of that. I still have a storage unit in Arizona from before I quit my job to travel. It's at my friend's house, and thank God she hasn't been charging me for it, but it's still something that I need to take care of. It's a loose end that I've been putting off, and now I have a beautiful place that I can bring my stuff to. It's just a matter of getting all my ducks in a row so that I can afford everything to get it back here. And I'm still in recovery mode, I haven't recovered to working a full-time job yet. So money is tight. I'm on a tight budget. Money's tight for everybody, even if they're working full-time. And so I'm trying not to get overwhelmed by thinking about every single thing that I have to do, but just focusing on what I can do in the present moment. And that right now, I have some yogurt here I'm going to be eating. It's like the self-care component and like making sure that I stay sane today and stay clean and sober today is really the most important thing. Because when I start thinking about long-term, it's like, I need to take care of the storage unit. I need to do X, Y, Z. I have all of these goals that I want to attend to that are beyond the scope of just today. And when I try thinking about all of those, it's overwhelming and it's too much. So I appreciate the topic for today. One day at a time, I can make it. I can make it X amount of time indefinitely because it's worked so far.
Yeah.
I can relate entirely to the feeling like there's an extremely long list of all the things that have been put off for me a couple of years. I mean, the depression and anxiety has always kind of played a role in whether I could get stuff done. But I feel you, all the stuff that isn't done. And then seriously, I thought about starting this little YouTube channel too, going, maybe I could, maybe if I did enough, how could I do this in a passive way? Maybe I could have them watch DJ. I don't know. But, just how can I bring in a little extra? Because it would make it a little easier to pay off the debt that I need to pay off and do the things I need to do. I feel you. Right. If there's anything I can do to help, let me know.
Thanks. Just your presence is helpful. Talking about it, just you being here is helpful. So thank you.
Yeah.
We love you. I love you.
Oh, I love you too. I love you too. Thank you.
Well, can I get a volume check? Sorry. Is my volume too high or too low?
I think it's okay.
Okay, thank you.
Today, I did get some of this room straightened out. It's been piled up with boxes that are getting ready to go to the storage unit, of all things. And we're going to be transferring from a paying storage unit to a storage room that we made off to the side of the barn. And I've got a lot of stuff that I'm going to end up donating more than likely. So a lot of trips into town to look forward to. Like every month I don't do something with these boxes that are stacked up here, closer to when we have to pay for the next month's storage. Do a channel.
Can you bring the stuff home?
Never show up. Never show up. Put a sign on, too busy. Do 30 minutes.
So I'll just have a live. Too busy. I don't know. I think that's what Rick means. Hello, Rick. Yeah, I thought about that. I'm like, I mean, I need to sew. Is there a way to do it sewing so I'm not actually talking? Because
totally.
I don't know that I could do something. It's like, how do you add to a life that is already have more to do than you have time to do it in? How do you add to that? Because I won't know for probably another month at least, whether we're going to get raises this year.
Okay.
So I don't know that there's going to be any more income coming in. And I keep thinking, you need to have a plan. You need to have a savings plan for in case DJ needs something, or what if your car needs something? You went through all the savings. So I do feel that. And the other thing, which you're talking about, reminded me of, Tara, I have a med that I would normally take today, but insurance had an issue and they needed something from my doctor. So I'm not taking that shot today because they've not sent it to me. So I don't know what that means, but it's one of the ones that helps my asthma. And it comes from Texas. It gets shipped in a cooler, and it's a shot that I have to give myself And right now it's every 8 weeks, but there's something with it, and I didn't get it, so I'm not taking it today. And I haven't heard from my doctor, even though I made that's the other part of Thursday, Friday. I made a whole bunch of calls. I tried to get it in. I don't know.
One day at a time. I made some calls today too, and one day at a time. One day at a time.
Yeah.
Hey, Selby. Good to see you.
In hypnosis, there's a concept called autosuggestion, and we do it to ourselves often.
Okay.
We wake up, say, this situation, one side of the triangle, this situation sucks. The other side of this triangle is, I am horrible at doing this. And the end result is the bottom part of the triangle will be, you will manifest that. If you think that I'm horrible, I'm horrible at doing this, that this always comes out bad, you will, as a result, this theory goes, you will manifest that at the bottom. You will not do good at that. And so what they suggest as a way to start to combat that is to take a dry erase marker and put a counter, and I know we've talked about this before, a counter to a limiting belief on your mirror, because that was one of the places you look, or a sticky, and just tell yourself that every day. Like I did one of these to Tara earlier. In every day and in every way, I am getting better. And then you could put something specific at the end of that. I am good at, and you can do that for several beliefs. You just take your limiting belief, whatever it may be. I'm horrible at, self-fulfilled prophecy. And that is exactly what they were talking about in this lecture. It's just simply, and it's one of those things we kind of know about. We've talked about ants several times, but we are actually hypnotizing ourselves, because it's just it's not we're not doing any of that, but we are constant. It's just by sheer repetition, it's sinking down into our subconscious.
Do you think it really works? Because it feels fake sometimes when you're telling yourself, the positive thought where there's normally been the negative reinforcement.
I can understand that. And I tend to be of that bent too, because you have a lot of, I don't know how to put it politely, but you have some of the manifesting crowd. You hear about this in Christianity a lot. Blab it and grab it, or I guess they call them name and claim it, but they're kind of that bent. But at the same time, I think it is important to to combat the negative messages we tell ourselves. It's one thing to quit because you stop the damage, but just nothing else. And it was the same thing I've done earlier, where I had my limiting beliefs up on the wall and I would mock them. It's kind of the same thing. You have to be aware of a limiting belief and then tell yourself something counter to it, because you've been programming yourself. I suck at insert here. I can't learn a new language. I can't learn math. It's not I can't learn math. This math hurts my head, but things like that. If you tell yourself that long enough, you will start to develop a habit around it. And I think that's one of the dangers of limiting beliefs. And the thing is, to really find your limiting beliefs, sometimes you need the help of other people, because we accept them as true. We won't spot them, because we will say, no, this is of course true. This is a limiting belief. This is a fact. And I'm talking like Tommy now. No.
Actually, you just triggered in me a memory way back. This is pre-COVID. I did try doing this kind of, it was, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was a year kind of trying to manifest positive. And so what it was is you chose 3 things and there was nothing negative in them. So it's not, I can't do this, or I won't do this. It's, I will do this, or we'll get better at the, whatever it happened to be. And so you only do 3, and you look at them and tell that to maybe post it around your home so that you see it every day. And part of it is you're much more aware, because you're seeing it all the time, more aware of, okay, an opportunity maybe comes up that would fit what you need or want, or would fit what that is. And it's like, or something comes up that maybe wouldn't. And then you kind of change what you do as well, or how you respond based on what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, and I think a little bit of that is, I think it is that we learn, I can do this. We'll make ourselves more open to opportunities when they come along versus, oh, I'm not even going to try because I suck at doing that, because I'm a horrible person or whatever. That's a bit of a stretch, but things like that. I don't think you're necessarily going to, okay, I envision myself getting $10,000 tomorrow. No, it's not going to. This isn't no Joel Osteen thing.
It would be really nice if that could happen, but
yeah, it would be. Would be very helpful.
Yes, Tara?
I think that what helps me with the positive affirmations, if I'm trying to affirm something that seems untrue, like that works against me, is my perspective. It's like I can't actually ever get to believing that if I really don't believe it right now. So I like to break things into smaller components and like work toward the thing that. So like for me right now with the storage unit, for example, I'm like, I'm not ready to go get my stuff because I can't afford it, right? Like I can't actually afford the cost to go get my stuff. But then I'm like, wait a minute, how can I reframe that? Since I'm listening to y'all talk about positive affirmations, it's inspiring me to reframe it. So it's like, I am ready to go get my stuff, which maybe that doesn't feel completely right either, because I'm like, well, I can't afford it. So that's not true. But what is true is that I'm ready to go get my stuff. And so that I can start there and feel like I'm telling myself the truth. And then as I sat here and was listening to y'all, I was like, okay, my brother actually offered to help me. He lives in Arizona. He works in disaster restoration and has a trailer. And he offered to help me move my stuff.
Okay.
And he also wants to get me a housewarming present, but I have not told him what I want. So I'm almost wondering if I could say, could you help me with the cost of moving my stuff and I will pay you back like as my housewarming present, like that. I'm like, okay, so as I told myself I'm ready to be ready, this idea came to me that maybe I could ask my brother for some additional support. He's doing really well. He's extremely financially secure right now. And so perhaps that's a potential solution that could get me to where I want to be.
Right on.
I like it.
I like it.
There's that is that. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say there's some great comments here. Sobriety is the foundation from Rick Spicer. The good results are the walls. When it settles is the roof. Zelda Z, when I think I'm horrible at something, I start to do it, and I'm always amazed when it works out well. And Shannon Smith says, if you do it enough, I think it works, but it's like meditation and is hard work. Okay.
Yeah.
Small steps. Actually, no, go ahead. I was just going to, Terry, you just reminded me what I need to do, because I've been feeling stress about it. Is I've got chosen family that they're not like giving me money. But if I reached out to them and said, would you be able to give me a loan in case the cat needs something, or I have an emergency car repair in the next, year and a half before I get everything where I want it to be, would you be able to do that? It would release a little bit of anxiety, which maybe would make it. And maybe I'll never need it because DJ's 6. So, it's unlikely something big will happen. She's an inside cat. And I don't drive very often. I'm still sitting less than 23,000 miles on my car that's, almost 5 years old.
Okay.
So needing a lot of work is unlikely. But
I kept thinking.
Go ahead, Ben?
I kept thinking DJ was your romantic interest. Your what
that's
was
Brian.
Oh, okay. Oh man,
DJ is the cat. It's the name she came with. And so she knows it. And so her ears are perked up. She knows I'm talking about her right now. So yeah, DJ's the cat. Brian is the partner.
I do know one thing. And this is an exercise they have you do. And feelings aren't necessarily a good gauge for things, but it did seem to work for me. And they just have you repeat that in every day, in every way. I am becoming better. Repeat it to yourself with your eyes shut. I think what was it about 40 seconds. Then open your eyes and repeat it again. And usually, most people, they'll feel a little bit of a change. They'll just feel a little bit of excitement as they say it again slowly. But I mean, it's not necessarily, your feelings versus, feelings are what they are. Sometimes we just have a bad cheeseburger. So it's not necessarily, um, but I do like Tara's idea. That is what we call a terrorific idea. I've been seeing the word terror all day, so I had to let that out.
That is not one that I have ever thought of before. Sorry, go ahead, Carol.
Well, Rick Spicer says, ask for the help, Tara. The extra needs, they will just ask. I need your help. They say what you need.
It's so hard to ask for help sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's a skill that I have learned in recovery, is to ask for help when I need it.
Yeah.
This is a new skill, though, to ask for help with something that's not connected to recovery. This is something that I need in my life. It's not something that is going to affect my sobriety at all. And so I almost feel like I don't deserve to ask for it. But I know, like, my gut is telling me, just ask. Like, just ask.
Right?
I feel like he has the means to be able to support the need, and then I can pay him back as I
offered anyway. So,
Can you cut out? Can you say that again?
He's already offered anyway, right?
Yeah, he offered to, like, I have to get out there, and then he will help me pack up everything into his trailer and then drive it out. He even said he would pay for gas. And so there's a part, he goes, just help me with gas. And I go, ooh. And then he's like, you know what? I'll pay for the gas. And I was like, seriously? Thank you. And so I kind of feel like he's already offered so much that it's like, I don't want to ask him for anything else. But at the same time, I would rather just get this taken care of now, because I'm starting to get busy, but I still have, I don't have a lot of money, but I have a lot of time right now. And I feel like eventually it's going to be switched, where I have a lot of money, but not enough time. And so it's like, maybe we can just, and plus Arizona is heating up right now. And so I don't necessarily want to wait until the dead of summer to be moving everything. So I think I just need to have a conversation with him and remind myself that my sobriety has given me the ability to take care of all of these things. Now I just have to have the courage to exercise a skill that I learned in my recovery, which is to ask for help.
Zelda Z says, Tara, your brother doesn't know what you need, so I think he'll appreciate knowing what will help you.
I think you're right, Zelda. And he has already told me, all he's waiting on is for me to tell him when. He's like, just let me know when, so like, we could have already done this. We've been talking about this for months now, and we could have already done it if I just would have asked. But I didn't even think about it until we were sitting here talking about affirmations. And it's like, okay, how can I believe myself here? I'm ready to be ready. What would make me ready? if I could pay for it, if I could pay for the ticket to get out there, I'm not going to drive my car. I just take a bus out there so that we can both drive back together. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the important thing about, I mean, whether or not whether or not somebody accepts the power of positive affirmations, at a bare minimum, just keep in mind what you're telling yourself. You guys, whoever's in the chat, you're talking about my friend there, so don't devalue them. Just try to be mindful of, like, oh man, I suck at doing this. Why do I always do that? Every time I do this, it goes to crap. Try, like, no, just try to at least just hold back, say no, it just didn't work out this time. What can I learn from this to make it better next time? Something like that.
And it's not even the worst thing that could happen. If he says no, he doesn't have the resources for that, then no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
That's plan A. There's a plan B out there somewhere, but it doesn't sound like that's going to be the case. But even so, it never hurts to ask, and you don't know until you ask. Henny says, I can't ask for help, Tara, but it's helpful. So you'll know where you can get a plan in place, and perhaps asking will give someone the opportunity to help. And Zelda Z says, just do it, girl. It will be such a weight off you. Yeah.
Maybe set it for before the end of May if you can. I don't know if you have the time. Or, by the end of the first week of June as it starts to get hotter. Because then I don't know, setting a deadline seems to help me. And I don't know if this is something that married people have, or if you've been in a relationship for a while. I have a really hard time asking for help. Like, because I'm on my own, that I'm supposed to be able to do all of this on my own. And I don't know, do married people or people in relationships living with someone, do they do the same thing? Or is it, I don't know. I have the same issue of asking for help and not being able to do stuff.
It's different when it's your actual spouse. I mean, you've stood up there before God and everybody and made these promises to each other. So, you kind of have this, maybe there's this mindset of, well, you promised to help, or to I don't even remember what the things are right now thinking about it, but I don't know. I think it is different when it's someone that you've committed to in that way. And even if you're living together, they're right there. It's not like they have to drive across town, or, you know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
And I had to think about this, but I am surrounded by such wonderful people that they don't want to be an inconvenience to everybody. I get that. They don't want to, but, I bet more often than not, most people here and most people over in the chat, I bet you they would help somebody that was, one of their friends that, hey, I need help doing this. So, sometimes I think that is a hard thing to get over. I have a friend here that I've helped out, and he helps me all the time. I go over and, hey, I don't have a place to change my oil, or I don't have a place to change. I don't have the jack stands or anything to change my brakes. Oh, hey, come on over. And we usually sit there and shoot the bull the entire time, and while I cuss and scream at my journey, and I weave a fine quilt of profanity which hangs over this town for decades. But we enjoy each other's company, so it's an opportunity to connect. So
Carol and Zelda sorry. Carol and Zelda are right. I know this other people's life isn't moving at your speed. Embrace your strength to all. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Tara.
I think a part of it for me is it's my little brother. And there's a part of me that's like, well, I should be taking care of him, He's
and
doing
well.
I hope so. I really hope that I'm able to give back to him what he's given to me. He's got a couple years on me in terms of his sobriety. He got clean and sober 2 years before I did. He's my little brother, but I look up to him in his recovery. And he got, well, I think he'd be okay with me. He got clean from meth and sober from alcohol. So I'm really proud of him. And I think I just need to be humble about it and say, bro, because I just have this feeling that if he can, he will help me. And then I'll, pay him back.
Rebecca and Tara, once you ask, you have more on your team to overcome the crap. And Crystal says if you never ask, the answer will always be no. But if you ask, there's always a possibility that it would be yes. Mm-hmm. And Shannon Smith has a difficult time asking for help. I think it's easier when it's your significant other. I think so too, Zelda. I don't know why. I don't know why that's, there's a level of commitment there that's already in place.
Yeah, and probably because Rebecca and I do live solo, and I've lived alone for over a decade. And before that, I lived alone also. I've lived alone for most of my adult life. And so I'm sort of like used to doing everything by myself. Yeah. And that's not actually the best way to get things done sometimes. It's like I feel like I'm ready to be ready for that partner, I think I am ready, but I think if I really had been in that space for a long period of time that I would be there already. They tell you to stay single in your first year of recovery. And a couple opportunities came up in my first year, but I was like, nope, I'm staying single for my first year. And now it's been 3. And I haven't dated in my recovery, really. I've been on a few dates here and there, but I'm ready to be ready for that life partner. But that's not today. And we're focusing on today right now.
Right on.
Well, and the thing is I know that every single person here, if they could, if I know that every single person here, if they could, their tables were turned, they would help out. And so we don't. And then, oftentimes in times of need, I know this is the case for me when I help my friends move, university friends, they would always call me because I had a truck. But I was constantly moving them, and it was always a good opportunity for connection. I mean, we would hang out for the entire weekend, if nothing else. Hey, we got a common cause we can rally against. If you're foolish enough to help me move something, then you're foolish enough to hang out with me and shoot the ball for a while.
Cosmic Christie, I don't ask for help because I feel like it's too much. I already get a lot at the moment, but I'd help anyone. I'd rather give help than accept it.
Yeah.
And when I was stuck in my flooded out house, it was different. It was difficult to ask a friend to take me in, but I was so desperate. She ended up taking me and my 4 dogs in for almost a year. See?
It's really a shame that Hanny's all the way in California, because let's see if I can pull it off. I would like to take her out for a cup of coffee at some point.
Henny's in California?
No, she's in New York.
That's what I thought. Henny was in New York. Yeah.
Coffee. Yeah.
Well, and out of curiosity, how would you get to Arizona to your brother's?
I think I'm going to take a bus. I think that's the best thing. Because if I drove, then we would both be driving back separately. But I think riding back together would be a good bonding experience. Like, it would be fun to do that. And also, I think it would be more cost effective to just get a one-way ticket and then ride back with him and his work rig.
That is
Do you
really
need
smart.
help getting that and paying for it, or are you going to be okay?
I'm going to ask him. I think that he would be able and willing to support that temporarily. So I want to start there and see where it goes.
Right on. Yeah.
Thank you for asking.
Like, if you have Venmo,
I do have Venmo. The link is in the description of my channel, but I think that he can help me.
I think
the kind of thing I always kind of feel like, I don't have a lot, but people have given me a lot. And that, what's $20?
Yeah.
I can, you know what I mean? I'm better at helping other people than I am accepting it for myself.
I feel like I appreciate that, Rebecca, but knowing what I know about like you and you wanting to ask for some support, it's like, I feel like I couldn't even accept that. You know what I mean?
Yes, you could, because that's life. And it would be an offer that
it's really thoughtful.
But I get it though. I get it. And there's a part of, and my therapist and I have talked about this. And so it's partially why I do continue to give a little bit, even though things are really tight, is she said, there's a certain portion of, if you give a little bit always, even when you don't have a lot, that there's still a certain feeling of a certain like abundance that you were able to give a little bit to someone.
That is so true.
And so that is a certain portion of why I also continue to do it, even though, I could take that and do something else with it. But there are people so much worse off. And I kind of think of it as I get so much support from everybody here that it's just like, I'm maybe paying it forward or back or however you want to think a little bit. But yeah.
You know what? If I can pull it off, it'd be super cool to get a bus ticket to Tucson and have a cup of coffee with Ben and Spanx and Ray, and then take a bus up to Phoenix. That would be so cool.
That would be amazing. Henny says that she has a younger brother too, Tara, and who has done so much better than me in some ways. I don't know. I think the baby of the family has to be a little bit more resilient, maybe, to keep up.
Well, you broke the path or formed the path for them to come along. So
yeah.
My sister in some ways is better off than me, but she lives at home and doesn't live on her own. If I lived at home, I would have a lot of extra because I wouldn't be paying rent and utilities and all of those things. And so my way of kind of helping her out, which is what I did last year, is she borrowed my car and she did a trip in my car, put a couple of 1,000 miles on it, which was, I don't drive it hardly ever, but it was kind of like, she and I had her car when I moved. So, it was fine, but it was just kind of, it seems like a little thing to me, but yeah, because she does. My sister has more disposable income than I do, and she's younger than I am. And I do feel that sometimes, but I also live on my own and I'm paying all my own expenses and my utilities, and life is expensive.
Yes, it is.
Well, so is my brother, and he's thinking about taking on a $700 a month car payment. And I'm like, dang, dude, you must be balling, to think about taking that on, I can't even imagine taking that on.
Even if I could afford it, I don't know that I would.
Yeah, I think that I feel the same way. I mean, a car for me is something to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And it depreciates.
Work. I don't need it to be a status symbol or a luxury item. It just needs to get me from point A to point B.
Though it would depend on what it is. So there's some trucks and if you're doing this for your job, I can see needing something that can haul things, or I don't know what I don't have a truck, but I can see why some of that would be justified and somebody would need that. I just don't. So I can get by with
you can rent trucks. If a truck is not something you need all the time, it's something that can be rented. But Izzy E, I don't ask for help because I used to, and I got tired of having to figure it out by myself after they flaked at the last minute. I'd rather do it myself than be disappointed again. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I've helped out people even when I had long COVID. Actually, a previous owner of DJ, that she, I knew her because she was a partner of a partner, and she had people flake out helping her pack and move. And so I don't have a lot of energy, but I still went over and packed some boxes. I couldn't stay really late, but yeah, I kind of feel like there are people like that, and it's disappointing.
Hello, Misha, and let's see, someone else. Hey, Shell, good to see you guys. Smash that like button. This convo's fire. Do the trip, meet the guys. I can see from here, Canada. It's your destiny, Tara.
Just think, though, the weight that will be off your back, even if you have a whole bunch of stuff in your current apartment that you have to sort and purge and deal with. Think how much loss of stress it will be just to have it out of that storage unit and in, even if it's one corner of your home where you can sort it as time allows.
Yeah.
Because I think it's not so much the things that I have in here now, because I was homeless. I lived in my car. I don't have much. I had like a carload of stuff when I moved into the first shelter that I lived in. And then I've acquired some things in between then and now and got furniture and stuff like that. But really, I'm probably going to be donating half of the things that are in there. Because look, I've existed for 8 years. 7 years? How long has it been? 8 years. It's been 8 years that I've lived without all of these items. There are some things in there that are irreplaceable, like my grandmother's glassware that was handed down, and some photo albums that I don't even know if they're going to be preserved because it's been in the Arizona heat outside for 8 years. Like those photos could be toast, but we'll have to just see what's in there. There's like things like a cradle that was also passed down from my grandma, but she didn't make it. It was just something that was given to her. And so I'm like, that cradle, it takes up a lot of space. It's probably not something I need to keep.
Is it a full-size baby cradle?
No, it's like for a baby doll. It used to have a porcelain doll in it that my grandma actually made by hand, but the doll broke when I was moving it, and so I had to throw that away, which made me really sad. But it's like the doll was what I wanted to keep. The cradle, there's lots of things like that I could let go of that are sort of replaceable.
Yeah.
So it's not, like I said, it's not so much what's in here. It's like, man, it's going to be a lot of work and like emotional stuff that's going to come up, just dealing with all of these memories and seeing what made it and seeing what didn't. I'm going to be really sad if those photographs didn't make it, but we'll just have to see.
Is there any kind of climate control whatsoever in okay?
No, it's just out. It's like it's a shed that's outside of their home in their backyard.
Well, you do have something going for you in that it's very arid there. That helps.
Yeah.
And one of the things I've learned with the whole kind of part of it was the declutter and moving to come here is that there's only a certain amount of stuff that you can deal with. So you choose the lowest hanging fruit first. So maybe while you're still there, the cradle you don't keep. You don't move that. But anything with the pictures, you just put in a box, if it's not already in a box, and that you move and you deal with later. So maybe make it easier to do. There might be a few things that you just know.
Yeah, all the clothes, Rebecca, I know you can relate. There's boxes of clothes that I kept and like a box of shoes. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to go through. Clothes are so hard for me to let go of for some reason. I feel like it's similar to you in fabric. I have so many clothes that I don't need, but they all fit, and it's like I liked them at one point. That's why I picked them out, and so that's going to be hard because they're not all going to fit in my closet.
Or
you got room now, though. Yeah, worst case, yeah, you could just do like Becca suggested, and
yeah, I also like the minimalist feel though, where there's not a lot in here. Like I have so much space to walk around. When people come in here, they're like, "You have so much space," and I don't really. I've got a little. I think it's like 680 square feet is what I've got, which is a lot compared to what I had before. And it's a lot compared to living in my car.
Yeah.
I also want to keep it minimal so that it still feels open and I think I can. I have a little storage, what's it called? A storage
locker space?
Locker space. Yeah. Some carports have little storage spaces at the the hood end of the vehicle. I have one of those and it's a really good size. All my camping stuff is in it right now. So I feel like I could maybe alternate my like winter wardrobe with my summer wardrobe or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do feel you. I have the same thing. I moved in here. I got rid of a lot when I moved because I had it was like 820 square feet and I knew I was coming down to 700. And I had a storage room at the old place that I just would dump things in and I don't have storage space here. So it's just the apartment. And I do feel that though, I'd like it to be more minimalist than it is right now.
There's ways you can do it. Sometimes it takes a little bit of an investment in little storage nook type things, like a piece of furniture that can double as storage or something, or, just clever little organizers. I did that. I had a really small space I lived in and I made it feel a lot more spacious by, just investing in fun little storage items, stuff from IKEA and things like that.
I have to get rid of the emotional stuff though. So I've got like taxes from like when, I don't know, this is going to be close to 20 years. Why am I still keeping them? It's not like I was going to be somebody they'd choose to audit. I didn't make enough money.
Yeah.
But seriously, I've got this emotional attachment to stuff that I still have DVDs in this age. And I can't bring myself to completely get rid of them.
I do understand this. I do understand the sentiment because bought this house and it's like, yes, a drum room. A room is actually big enough to handle my electronic and my acoustic kit. Even though I can't play my acoustic kit with my hearing aids anymore. Still, it's like, yes, it's not that big. Well, it's big. Okay. But yeah, now we're helping a relative who is going through cancer treatment. And older woman who's had tons of stuff. So yeah, now I'm like, okay, my little sphere of it, my gracious space is now becoming listen. My kit's out in the shed and I play every now and again when the spiders and the quail let me, but yeah. It explains this picture here because like none of my names have a P in them. That's not me. That's not my family. But I'm thankful that we're in a position where we can help.
Right on.
So, my significant other loves plants. I like green stuff, but I don't know if I like the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. It's kind of our house right now, but What can you do?
Oh, that takes me back to that 80s, late 80s. Yeah. I am realizing that I need to choose what is most important.
Yeah.
And some days are easier than other days. And what is most important for me to keep that makes me happy? And fabric is that thing. And so instead of keeping all the movies and all the books, we don't need to keep them all. I'm not going to make clothes again. Why do I keep sewing books that are for how to do clothes? I don't think I'm ever going to do it again. Or maybe I keep 1 or 2, but not like the 15 or 20 that I've got. I just need to let go emotionally and leave room that things can come back in.
Well, make
I
sure
can
you keep
use a capsule wardrobe. So I was going to say, I could come over and like, okay, we don't need this to your clothes. And you can do the same thing for my fabric.
It's so much easier when you're doing it for someone else. It's like, because there's no emotional attachment there. But it's like, I went through the process of going to the thrift store and I found all of this 100% linen or 100% wool. And I'm super into fabric in that way, where I love 100% like 100% cotton, 100% polyester clothing, natural fabrics. So it's I think because I invested time into finding those things, but on the other hand, it's if they still fit me, which I think they will, it's like going to be a whole new wardrobe, which is going to be fantastic.
Right on.
Or you just
there's a way that you can probably update it with accessories and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to keep all of it.
Yeah.
Maybe you keep half of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I really don't have to figure all of this out because we're talking about one day at a time right now.
Right.
So we haven't even got to that. And in my brain, I think I have overcomplicated things because I've tried to figure out all that. Like what am I going to keep when I get there? What am I going to toss? When we get here, where am I going to put everything? And it's like, all I need to do is pick up the phone and say, bro, can you help me? I could do that today.
Yeah.
Why don't you? And I'll ping you later and see if you did.
I think I will.
Before you're live later.
I can commit to that. As long as this doesn't run into that, I can commit to that.
Right on. Crystal says, when I go to downsize, I go through each box and see what I can part with, even if it's just a bit. Keep going through things every year or so and downsize what I'm ready to let go of. If you do that with enough, if you commit to a box a day, say, and you can just get rid of 1 or 2 things out of each and every box, might come a point where you can condense boxes.
Rebecca, I would encourage you to keep at least 1 book of how to knit in case somebody clocks I don't remember if it was Carol or if it was somebody else talking about clocking a rooster and knocking its head off. You might be called upon to knit ahead to.
Okay, I'll keep 1 knit, 1 crochet, and I'll keep maybe a couple sewing.
Yeah.
But I've got quilt books too. I have 3 shelves that are probably about 3 feet long that include quilt patterns, sewing books, and miscellaneous related to sewing, quilting, smocking, all the different knitting things.
I gotta say though,
even if I condensed down to 2 of those shelves, pulled everything out and just put back what I really wanted to keep most, and then just left whatever was left. Like, okay, I just can't keep all of that.
I must say really quickly though, it is such a blessing to see you when you pull out fabric and you get all smiley face and everything.
Yeah.
That is such a blessing to see.
It is great.
And I love I love your Discord handle. I think it's Becca, the fabric fondler.
Yes.
Hilarious. I laughed really hard when I saw that.
And I have to figure out the whole Discord thing. I lost an account and I don't know. I haven't been back since. But yes, I leave this out so that I can fondle it when I need to.
If you want help with Discord ever, Rebecca, I'm happy to help you navigate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's easy to offer help. It's like so much easier to be like, I want to help you, you know?
Cosmic.
Hi. I don't know if I'm going to echo
Cosmic.
because I don't have my headphones there. I left them in my car, in the car. So I just wanted to show you that I'm in Wollongong. Well, Wollongong, yeah.
That's
so
beautiful.
that's Lake Illawarra there. There's a body of water that way. And out there's the ocean.
Nice.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful.
Oh, it's really nice. We're in the fancy. My sister lives in the fancy part of town.
Ooh, putting up my pinky with you.
Yeah, so I need to put my top hat on and eat some caviar. But yeah, I'm actually thinking that because my sister wants me to move down here. Speaking of people helping, because she wants, she misses having, she doesn't have any family. I'm basically her only immediate family left in Australia. And see, I was hesitant about even thinking about it because one, she's already helped me because I'm living in her house up in Queensland. And two, with my son moving, I don't want to rain on his parade. You know, I've got to ask him whether or not, find out whether or not he would be okay with it without, because, you know, sometimes kids want to move away from their parents. They don't want to be near them. They just want to have that freedom and stuff. So I need to find out whether that's something that he actually wants. Because if that's what he wants, then I'll go somewhere else because I don't want to, you know, he's just moved out. Like, today's his first day out of home. So, and here I am thinking, you know, I might move in with you.
Was he also in that place? What's it called again? What is it called again? What is it?
Wollongong. Yeah.
Wollongong?
Lake Wollongong. Yeah. I'll send the spelling of it later. It's fun to say.
Is that where your son is?
Yeah, he's here now. He's downstairs in his room, in his new room. Yeah. So, it was so.
Oh.
No.
She looked great. She looked great in that outfit too.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was fun to see her outside.
Yeah.
And that view.
There she is.
Unreal.
There you go.
Yeah, back again. Yeah, but I was just thinking, like, with Tara, you asking your brother for help. My brother's an older brother. I have to ask him to stop helping. So, you know, so I don't tell him because he helps, but he's.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just need him to back off a little because I need, you know, to do it myself, and also he doesn't know as much about cars as what he thinks he does. So, but yeah, it's so much easier to accept help. No, sorry, to offer help than it is to accept it. Yeah. So, you know, I'm not very good at. For me to have to ask for help, like when I'm at that particular point, I have to be close to meltdown and ready to, you know, at breaking point, because that's kind of what happened last week and all that sort of stuff. I had to ask my mates for help, and it's difficult for me because I used to be so independent and now I'm not. So I think that's, you know, like Rebecca was saying, you know, if you've been alone for so long, you're supposed to do all this stuff by yourself. You know, you're supposed to be able to know how to change a tire and all that other stuff, which I know theoretically how to do it, but not practically. So so sometimes I just think we have to bite the bullet and accept help. You know, we can't.
I know how to do it too. I know how to do most of it. I could change my own oil if I really wanted to, but I don't want to. And why do I have to do everything? Yeah. That's part of what I'm asking myself. Why do I feel like I have to do it all myself? Because I'm not a lesser human being if I ask for help.
Exactly. But, you know, everybody needs help.
And we don't have to do everything today. Because
That's
that's the topic is one day at a time. And so we can't get everything done in one day. But what we can do is, like, I think I've mentioned it here before, that book, One Small Step, or maybe it was on one of Christy, Conversations with Christy's. I can't remember where we talked about it, but the One Small Step book, where it's sometimes as simple as, if you want to clean out your office or clean your desk, it's about putting just one paper clip away instead of trying to. It's like, I need to clean my bathtub and my toilet and my sink and make some vegetables and like all these, and I go live tonight. It's like all these things, but I could probably just clean my toilet today and everything would be fine.
Yeah, there you go. I love it.
Well, I find this interesting too. This being, among other things, a recovery group. Isn't that one of the steps of recovery? Is at least of the 12 steps, where you ask your higher power for help?
Yeah.
Came to believe in a power greater than ourselves. Yeah. That's step number 2. Number 3 came to believe. That's number 2.
But isn't the first
or the which one is it? Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. That's number 2.
There's a few of them. There's step 7, humbly ask him to remove our shortcomings. But also made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him.
Made a decision. That's number 3, right? Number 3 is made a decision. Number 2 is came to believe.
Number 2 is came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity.
We did a version of the 12 steps, and the weird quasi, I don't know what you want to call it. It was kind of like Alcoholics Anonymous, but it wasn't. It was kind of a group for everybody being suffering from drugs or behavioral problems like myself, depression and
sounds a little like
codependency.
Smart Recovery.
Yeah.
But because that's
It
where
may have been.
Sorry, am I echoing at all?
No,
you're fine.
Okay.
Gotta say, Cosmic, I do like the outfit. That looks really great on you. It's nice to see you outside and smiling. And
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a poncho.
Yeah.
It was so cold. I got a panic pack. So it's a poncho. I got it yesterday. But my son said it looks like I've had it forever because it's so me. I'm like, oh, thanks. But yeah. I'm going to have to go inside soon because it's freezing out here. But everyone else is asleep. So I just wanted to show you guys where I am. So it's getting
nice.
Gorgeous.
It's
so pretty.
Yeah, so I'll take some photos when we go to the beach. We're going to go for a wander around my sister's new hometown. And the house is so nice. Oh, my God. It's like a McMansion. All right, then. I love you guys.
Good for you.
See you tomorrow.
Love you too, Cosmic.
Bye.
It is beautiful. Bird.
Oh.
I'm trying to catch up on the chats here.
Oh, Bird.
My brother
So,
will offer help and never. Zelda says, needs to say I don't deal with him anymore. Too hurtful. Oh, Zelda, I'm sorry. The only thing, Rebecca Emerfall, the only thing that I lost that truly had sentimental value was photo albums. Everything else can be replaced if I get the money. Yeah, Shannon.
I really appreciate Minsk being so diligent and trying to help me. I wish there was a way, but I don't have super chats right now. I'm wondering if, Carol, would you be able to type my email into the chat, the terrasmiling@yahoo.com, because it won't let me do it. And Minsk, maybe if you're open to emailing me, perhaps there's something that maybe I could get a Google Pay account set up or something. I don't have that right now, but I know you do. So thank you, Carol.
Yeah, you're welcome. All righty.
It's funny. I do love listening to Tara talk about, at times she gets so happy talking about, especially with food. She's talking about how she has her hamburger and then she's got her veggies online and then she's got her it's so fun to listen to people with what, because with Tara, it's the way at which she eats that she seems to really get into. But I really love listening to people when they're talking about something they get happy about.
I like to eat my food in courses for my digestion. I'm really particular about it. Now, if I go out with a group of friends, I'm not going to ask that they bring my food to me in courses, but I like eating like a probiotic like sauerkraut or a salt brine pickle, and then giving my body like 10 minutes to digest that so that like preps the landscape for the food that's about to come in. And then I'll do my protein. It takes longer for that to digest, so I give it a head start. And then I do the vegetables, and then I have the grains at the very end. People make fun of me, but don't care.
Do you? Do you? If your digestion works that way, I'm a big proponent for our bodies don't all work the same. And if it works for you, do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And speaking of cradle, don't forget to name your first four kids, Benz, Spanx, Ray, and Minsk. Male or female, doesn't matter. There's her names.
What if my husband is not down with that? I don't think it's going to be my decision completely. I think I do. Minsk actually has something down the street, but I don't know. I don't know the address off the top of my head, and I don't want to put that out on YouTube. Like, I wouldn't want to, if you're open to emailing me, that would be awesome. Or I could set up a Google Pay, and that might help you too.
Okay. So Rick Spicer had asked about my hats. If he's still here, all the hats belong to one little lady who, when she passed away, the family had to deal with all of her stuff. And they were going to try to sell me these hats because at the time I was going to school. I was all but broke, but I could usually find a buck or two to buy a vintage clothing item at a thrift store, and then I could sell it on eBay for higher than what I paid for it. And that's kind of how one of the ways I got through school. And the family members of the little lady that had these hats, we were kind of going back and forth with a friend of mine who I went to church with. They after a couple of times going back and forth on what kind of price we were talking, they ended up giving me the hats. And of course I didn't sell them because they're just too precious. They came at a time when I was feeling pretty low, and it was really a pick me up, and it was a really hopeful sign type of situation. And so I hold on to them because, we all need that reminders that there's hope, even in the low times.
Do you play the piano, Carol?
I do, yeah.
Nice.
I have a love-hate relationship with playing piano.
The piano is considered a percussion instrument, so you got that going for you.
Yeah.
I did
play keyboards. I played keyboards in my husband's band for about 5 years.
Wow.
And that was the only time that I ever played keyboards in a band. I told him, look, I'm not a keyboard player. I took piano lessons when I was a kid. Right on, Rick.
What's your husband's band name, if he's okay with sharing it?
Yeah, the Sherms.
Okay.
It's my husband and my brother-in-law and 2 other guys.
I've always wanted to learn piano. I mean, I play, I have a glockenspiel or a bells, whatever you want to call them, for my drum kit, but that's far different with 2 beaters versus using your entire hand. Whenever I use my entire hand, it comes out, bring, bring, I don't play piano much.
How does it go again?
Yes.
No, seriously, we want to know.
Though I am going to go soon because it's almost 5.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to be good and get a couple more things done today. You know, Tony talked about the to done list, and I've been doing that, writing down everything that I've done. And I feel a little less bad about how little I feel like I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So at the very least, the dishwasher gets loaded and unloaded every day. And
yeah.
Well, recognize too, your body is still recovering.
Yeah. Actually, that reminds me. Does anyone know very much about red light therapy and getting something for it? The reason I'm asking, and just really quick, because I don't want to take over the meeting because that's not what this is about. I learned yesterday that apparently red light can help redo your mitochondria. And part of the problem with long COVID is that the mitochondria in my cells has changed. And so the chronic fatigue, my cells have changed. It's like a whole new thing. But that potentially red light can change your mitochondria.
Krista Melinda wants to know if you're talking about infrared.
I don't know.
Red light therapy
that is a therapy. That is infrared is light therapy.
Yeah, okay. Red light therapy is, what do they call it? Near infrared. And then, of course, you have far infrared, which is what my sauna is. But yeah, I did do red light therapy, and I just bought, I think I left it at work charging. I just bought, it was like a thin, I found it uses a strap where you strap it to yourself wherever you're injured at, around your arm or belly or whatever. And it was like a small, maybe, I know they have nothing for scale, but it'd be like a piece like this big. And it seems to help. It seemed to help my chest because I was dealing with, when I got sick, my chest was all inflamed and it looked like I might have had, I was thinking I might have had, not mitochondria. I got that word in my head now. That is a heart condition, but I used that and it really helped to loosen the garbage in my chest up. I do know that red light therapy, what they do suggest is that you try it just in a small place because some people apparently react negatively to red light. You just try in a small area and make sure you're not itching. It's literally a red light, but it is near infrared, so you get a little bit of heating with it.
Because apparently it helps Ben's wife with arthritis, and she's got other health issues. Yeah. And so she's apparently only got a small one. I don't know very much, and he didn't know very much because she wasn't there. But yeah, I'd be curious to know, and feel free to reach out to Carol because she can give you my email address. I'd be curious to know if people have tried it and what they think, and then what would potentially help my entire body, because it's my entire body's mitochondria has changed, not just like a specific area.
You can talk to your doctor too about methylene.
Ben, Shannon Smith wanted to know if you thought it would help with pain.
It helped with. I know this is all anecdotal, and unfortunately, it seems like most of it is if you research it. I mean, I know doctors have done all kinds of studies on it. It's been studied pretty well. You still have a few doctors that say, "Oh, it's woo-woo," but you have doctors that say chiropractics are woo-woo. And how many people go to a chiropractor like, "Oh, yeah, I feel better," and doctor, "Oh, you're not feeling better. You just only think you feel better." Well, up yours. But with me, it did help. It helped my, I tore a tendon in my foot. It seemed to help with that. It helped me with a mainly muscular injury, where maybe not injury is a strong word. My body's been atrophied from dealing with all the stuff I've been dealing with. So every time I exercise, things hurt like they're going to. Red light seems to help with that. Take it for what you will, but and I know it is supposed. There have been people talking about exactly what Becca was talking about, the mitochondria aspects of it, along with like things like methylene blues, also supposed to help. But there is a warning. Methylene blue is it's actually blue, and it's supposed to help your body, something about the red blood cells and things like that. But I do know that you need to talk to it has to be prescribed. So yeah, by default you have to talk to a doctor about it, because I think if you have hypertension, that it may be bad. But yeah, and I'm asking my doctor about it as well, because it's also supposed to help with not brain fog. Wow, talk about brain fog. Woohoo, there we go.
I was gonna say migraines, headaches.
No, neuroplasticity.
Oh,
that's been the kick I've been on lately, studying neuroplasticity. But yeah, red light therapy. It's been. I wish I could find it, but yeah, I think I did leave it at work charging. But this literally, you turn it on, it's bright red, and you could tell this by looking at it. It's not just red light; that it's getting into the non-visible spectrum, just because of how bright it is. You can tell there's something different, and that in a way it heats your hand up, because the light bulbs, LEDs, don't heat up.
Right.
So you can tell it heats the skin up, which means you're getting into the infrared spectrum a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, a red LED is not going to cut it. It can also help with digestion, even infections. It can help minimize the.
They used to treat infections with light therapy a lot more than they, and I don't know why that went away, because it's very effective.
Yeah, I have I don't know what they're called, but the silver, gosh, what are those things called? You screw a light bulb into it and it's got the silver reflector thing so that it doesn't heat up things that are around it too much. The socket. Oh. So I have a red bulb, a red heat bulb, and then the socket with the silver thing that you put it into. I can clamp it on to like my bookshelf or a dresser or something like that. And for me, it helps. It does wonders for my face. And like if I put it on my stomach, it helps with my digestion. I hope this isn't too much information, but I have a skin condition. It's benign. I was diagnosed a few years ago. It's not contagious and it's transient, which means that it'll eventually go away on its own. We don't know what causes it, but the red light actually aggravates. It's called Grover's disease. Okay. And the red light actually aggravates that. It's totally under control right now, but if I put that red light on it, it kind of just acts up, if you will, and it's uncomfortable and can get itchy. So for some people, it works wonders and they can put it all over their body. Some people even use single lights and create a sauna, like what Ben has talked about. Like you can buy those or you can build them yourself, which would be way more affordable, so that you have exposure all over your body and you don't have to keep moving the lamp in different locations. For me, it works out great to have just one bulb, because then I can put it on my face and then I can move it to my stomach and I don't have to get my chest or my back, which is where the Grover's disease affects me. Okay. I highly recommend it. And Rebecca, I would be happy to send you a link to the physician that I follow that I learned about it from, because he goes into a lot of detail about what it's good for, how to use them. He even has plans available, like a free blueprint to build your own sauna, if that's something you're interested in.
I got your email. I'll send you an email.
Okay, sure. Or I could send it to you on Discord too. It's totally up to you. If you want to send me an email, I'll respond.
I'll send you an email because I don't know where my Discord is right
now. That's right. Okay, yeah, I'll look out for your email.
Okay.
I only wish I had it, because I don't know what I.
Shannon Smith and Ben wants to know where you got yours.
I got mine at My health savings account has a little health savings store, and I was able to use that. You can buy them online. I just started small. I think mine was, I want to say 60, but
Wow.
I think there's all sorts of things that you can do with it. I mean, I think I think there's a lot of different price points for it. I was interested in it because one of the people that who I know who has traumatic brain injury, that was one of the therapies that he did, and he's also doing it just to give him more spectrums of light, because if he isn't careful, he'll spend the entire day indoors. Well, hey, that's me. I have to really try hard to carve time to go outside and just sit in the sun for a while. So yeah, you're getting, at bare minimum, you're getting some different light frequencies that you don't normally get. And mine, you can wear it. I mean, if you're sensitive to light, as far as your brain is sensitive to light, the wearable one's nice for that, because I've worn it here a couple times while I was online, and you don't even really see it. I mean, occasionally you'd see a little bit of red peeking through my shirt, but that was about it. I mean, it's not like something you don't necessarily look into it, stare into it and get hypnotized or anything. It sounds like Tara might have that kind of system where she's just using visible light.
Yeah,
but, yeah,
oh, sorry.
it doesn't have to be that way, I guess is what I'm saying. Do whatever works. But yeah, it's always something you want to try and see what kind of effects you have, because she has a skin condition, and I know that happens to some people.
Yeah.
My skin condition looks like it's clearing up. The dermatologist thinks it's on its way out, but I do still have to be cognizant of it. And the rig that I put together, I love doing things like the most affordable way possible. And so the socket, I think, which you just plug into the wall, I think that cost me like under $15. I think it was $12.99 or something like that at Home Depot. Mm-hmm. And then I would have got it all at Ace Hardware, but they didn't have the sockets. I had to go to Home Depot for it. They were like out of stock. But at Ace Hardware, I got the light bulb for, I think, around the same price, like $11.99 or something like that. So that would be, under $25 just to test it out.
I'd like to learn more about it, because if it will make a difference. I'm at that point where I don't want where I have right now to be the rest of my life. Yeah. I want to be able to get my strength back. I want to be able to go canoeing and kayaking and rock climbing and hiking and all the things that I used to do prior to all of this. I want to be able to do those again, and I'm not too old. I don't care if people think 50 is too old. I'm not too old.
Not at all. Can I go with you to do all those things?
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. And that's one thing that was really nice about going up and seeing the two other guys I saw, is I'm now starting to recover from my blood condition. And that was one of the things I also used red light for, was to because my blood was too thick. I know I've talked about that several times. And it would seem to help, where if I wore it, I didn't have your blood gets too thick, it's not carrying enough oxygen. It would seem to kind of thin it a little bit. It just seemed easier to breathe, easier to do stuff. And I'm really thankful that I'm finally on the recovery end of it. But I know I still have a few treatments left in me, because it's been a couple weeks and I need to get drained again.
Okay. Well, I hope that gets better soon. And it is after 5. I do need to go. I'm going to go be a productive adult. I'm going to go adult for a little while. It's great to see you all. Great to see everyone in chat too. Love you. Hugs, support. Bye.
Bye.
Good to see her smiling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That would be amazing if that worked on long COVID.
That would be.
Mm-hmm.
You're awesome too, Minsk. Thank you. Well, what do you guys think? If we had a meeting?
Okay. In Bisbee, we don't count to 3. It's 1, 2, many. Many works. Many works. Anything beyond 2 is many. That's how you do math in Bisbee.
Well, I want to. Oh, go ahead, Carol. Sorry.
No, I was just going to read a comment, but it's about the light therapy, but it's for psoriasis, I think, was the issue. Pills plus coconut butter plus daylight bulbs. It's an odd combo, but it seems to stop my skin from falling off in large chunks. Well, good.
Well, I know that's also good for daylight bulbs. Are also good for people who have Becca has it. Seasonal affective disorder. It will also help with that.
Yeah. It used to help me a lot more when I was a lot younger. My dad and mom got me a daylight helmet. Yeah. Thank you, Henny. So glad to see you again. Looking forward to seeing you again soon. Yes, we're looking forward to seeing you too. I've missed you.
Every time I see Henny's name, and now especially since Ben reminded me, I'm like, let's have some coffee sometime soon.
Oh, you got that accent down. Yeah, I have such problems with it.
Yeah.
I wonder, does anybody here tonight have a show? And if so, how would people find that?
You can go to Tara Smiling, the channel Tara Smiling. I think there was a link dropped earlier. Maybe someone would be able to drop it again. That would be so sweet. It's at 4:00 Pacific Standard Time, which is in about 45 minutes, a few minutes more than that. But
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go live only for an hour. I started going just for an hour because the lifeboat goes on at 5. So I go on at 4 Pacific, and I try to wrap it up right before he goes on.
Right on.
It'll be fun. If you're available, if you're watching right now and you want to continue to connect, I will be over there in a few minutes.
I was going to try to find the link, but I don't think I have enough time to do the finding and then the posting. It is at Tara Smiling on YouTube, right?
Yep, TARA and then Smiling. I think I'm the only one that pops up if you search that. Oh, look at that, Ned. Hey, awakened Ned.
Thank you, Ned.
There's the link.
You, Nisha.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, we missed you too, Jenny.
She say coffee very well.
Coffee.
And Krista Melinda's going to put you on in her car.
Sweet. I will join you for the ride.
Sounds good.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure as always.
Yes.
Hopefully see you tomorrow is my plan.
Yeah.
Who knows what might happen. I have homework. I was assigned by Rebecca to call my brother in between now and the live stream. So my stomach has like butterflies. It's just my brother. And I'm like, oh, I'm all nervous, but I will report back as soon as possible.
Right on.
Don't forget to remind them who you are.
Oh, he knows.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
The Ducks in Tucson know who I am. And
he likes, so he's my little brother. He likes to remind me of how when we were younger, I think we were probably like 4 and 7. I'm 3 years older than him. We were like wrestling, and I grabbed him by the arm and I like swung him around in a circle, and I ripped his arm out of socket. And he loves reminding me of that. So he knows. But he's bigger than I am now. He's like way bigger than I am. So he knows, but he's still got respect, even though he's bigger. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. I will see y'all soon.
See you soon.
Hope you have a great day.
You too.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Carol. This is really thank you for. I'm glad. I am so glad. I mean, I remembered that you were talking about setting up in your room. I did not realize you actually had AC back there. That's nice. I'm glad You're
You
not.
know, if I can make this work permanently, like right now I'm in an old chair that's not very comfortable. And so I'm gonna have to figure something out with a chair. But it has heat in the winter. It has AC in the summer, and it's out of the way. So be
Glad
nice
you
if I
got,
can make it work.
and you got nice color too.
Thank you.
And it
Thank
allows us to peer into the life of Mighty Carol a little bit.
Thank you.
I do hope you have an awesome day.
You
And
too,
as
Ben.
always, feel free to ask the donkey how he's doing and what he thinks about it.
Oh, he'll be sure and let you know.
You have an awesome day.
You too, Ben. Great meeting, you guys. I love it. You guys are amazing. I love this community so much. I love you guys, and I thank you so much for supporting this community. I hope to see you again next meeting, which will be tomorrow at 3:40 Central Time. And until then, peace, y'all.